Hi, I'm Ron Tanner with Houselove, and today we're going to talk about our camper van. Last time I promised that I'd talk about insulation and soundproofing, but I realized that we couldn't do that interior work until we did the exterior work. So today we're going to talk about bodywork, paint, and windows. So let's get started. This Sprinter van was a cargo van. It saw a lot of use, and it was pretty banged up. A couple of things to keep in mind. One thing is that they had a carrier on the top of the van that bent out the gutters, and as a result the van was leaking because the seams in the gutters were torn apart. So this is something to keep in mind when you get your van, if you have a used van, get it worked on, is to make sure that all those seams are tight along the top of the van. If you look down here, the van is now pristine, had all the body work done. And obviously, if you can afford it, that's what you want to do if you're going to get this thing painted. So you're essentially starting out with a new van. Three things to keep in mind when you're getting your Sprinter van painted. The first thing is you've got to ask the paint shop if they have a spray booth big enough for a Sprinter van. I wasted time at 2 or 3 paint shops talking about all the things they would do for the van before I realized they did not have a spray booth big enough. The second thing is you've got to make all your cutouts before you get the van painted. If you don't do your cutouts before the paint, you risk getting rust around the cutout area. The third thing is remember that you cannot use household caulk and other sealers. They're not strong enough for automobiles. What you need is an automobile grade sealant and adhesives, and you can get those from high-end auto stores or go online and look for them. For instance, when you're putting on your air conditioner or your solar panels, you need something called seam sealer, and that's auto grade, and that's going to keep that seam really watertight. As you see, we have selected a mint chocolate chip color scheme. We really like this green. It's kind of a vintage color, and we wanted some interest, so we added some stripes. 3 of them. Keep in mind that this van was a cargo van. It was painted the generic white that you see all the Sprinter cargo vans painted, and it had no windows except up front, of course. And we had to select just the kind of windows. They're not easy to find. And on this side of the van, on the interior, of course, we're going to put a bunch of cabinets. So we can't have windows here except right here over what is going to be the kitchen. Cutting out windows is not difficult. It's a little scary at first, but it's really pretty easy. Basically what we're talking about is drilling into the sheet metal and then putting a jigsaw in that hole and just cutting around the pattern that we have drawn on the sheet metal. And that's it. It's not that difficult. Let's look at the other windows we have. As you see, we put a tire carrier back here. This is a piece of plywood here just to keep it flat, make it look a little bit better. These 2 windows do not open. They're just flat tinted windows. And again, you have to custom order these. I've had a custom hatch put in for the electrical line. And as you can see, this goes into the van. There's a little door there. And we'll talk more about some of these custom fittings a little bit later. As you see, we have a big window on the sliding door. These are hard to find because there is a little bit of curvature and there's a special fit for this window. I get this from Peninsula Glass. They're in Vancouver. And this is called an in-motion window. And what's great about it is that it does have a screen so that we can get some air. Starting with the front, we have a bully bar, some fog lights. And this grill, I custom fit this grill so that the medallion would show between these bars. Something to remember about bully bars. I think they look really cool, but if you buy one that's fitted especially for a Sprinter van, it's going to be very expensive. So I looked around and found just a generic truck bar, and I had a fabricator fit it to the van. Doesn't cost a lot. In fact, it came in at about half the price that the custom one did. Before you take your van into the shop, you'll want to look very carefully at it from top to bottom. Before I took this into the shop, I realized that one of these eyebrows was missing, and most of the time I never noticed it, but once I got into the shop I said, oh yeah, there's this. That does it for this installment. Join us next time when I will talk about insulation and soundproofing. My name's Ron. Jill is my partner. We are Houselove, and you can find us online at www.houselove.org. Thanks for joining us. Good luck with your project.
It's a wonderful world. I'm just walking on air. It's a wonderful world. I've got more than my share. Baby, I must be lucky through and through. It's a wonderful world, loving wonderful you.